Hi, I'm Ben. Welcome to my channel. So, sorry that I haven't posted in a while. I've been kind of busy, and I did start a new project, and it's kind of grown into, it's a little longer a project than I thought it would be. I've been videotaping it, and I'll probably get that up pretty soon, but in the meantime, I wanted to remind my viewers that I'm around. And you know, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, spoiler, if you're looking for tool restoration, this isn't the video for it. I'm probably going to blab a little bit, so if you get bored with that stuff, see you next time, you know. Let me back up. Several years ago, I went through a divorce, and it was very painful, and it was one of those things that I got so upset that I felt like I had to make some serious changes in my life and think about the way I was living. And so I did. I devoted a lot of time towards making a set of rules that I could follow that would help me be more emotionally content. That's the best way I can put it. And so I thought, well, periodically what I do is I go back and I reread them because it helps me and so forth. And I thought that, you know, maybe I'll do a video on it, and perhaps somebody out there might get some help from it, or, you know, if not, I'm not preaching to anybody, but if it helps somebody, so be it. So anyway, without further ado, here are the 7 rules of the Zen of Ben. Rule 1, get off your ass. And I mean this in a couple of ways. You know, for one thing, I mean it physically, like get out of your chair and go do something. You know, I got a camera and I started taking pictures. I never got very good at it, but it got me out of the house and out into the world, and allowed me to focus on things other than me and my perceived problems. So, you know, that's a big part of it. Don't watch TV all the time. You know, if you have a recliner, get rid of it. You know, much better to be active. And the second part of that rule is, when I say get off your ass, I mean, like, if there's some decision that you need to make it. If you know, forgive my language, but the old phrase, shit or get off the pot, it's kind of like that, you know. There is no time like the present, and finding reasons not to do a thing, well, you know what I'm saying. Momentum is a good thing, and so get up, get off your ass, get going. Rule number 2 is drive your own car. And what do I mean by that? That's kind of a stupid phrase, but it helps me to remember when I put it this way, okay? I view my emotions as a thing, like a Fabergé egg, or a car, if you will. It's an object. So I want to protect that object at all costs, because too often we hang out with people that aren't good for our psyche. So I say drive your own car, and what that means is, let's suppose I had one car, and that was going to be the only car I could have for the rest of my life. Well, I'd want to take really good care of it. I wouldn't park it next to somebody who has an old banged up car. I certainly wouldn't give them the keys and let them drive my car. That, you know what? I want to be in charge of that because it's mine and the last thing I've got. And so if you equate car to emotions, anyway. Number 3, if you're making up a story, make it a good one. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you know, it's really easy for us when we're in a situation. It's really easy for us to predict that we know what someone's going to say, to assume that we know how everything's going to, what's going to happen, and we start making up a story because it hasn't happened yet. So obviously it's a story. We're not looking at history. We're looking at what could happen in the future. So if you're making up a story, make it a good one. Perfect example. Several years ago, I was working for an ad agency, and I was really unhappy with my job. And I sent an email out to a group of friends, sort of saying, here's what's going on. I'm looking for a new job, blah, 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 blah. I accidentally sent it to my boss. And when I realized I had done that, my head started creating all kinds of stories. Oh my God, this is going to happen. I'm going to get fired. I'm going to have to pull the kids out of private school or whatever. And that's not at all what happened. That wasn't at all what happened. So if I was going to make up a story, I should have made it a good one, because I spent the entire weekend dreading Monday, when Monday wasn't at all what I thought it would be. So, the artist Mary Engelbreit put it this way. She said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change the way you look at it. So that's what I like to do. Number 4, stop waiting for a white horse. It's so easy to say, I'll be happy when, or, if I just had this, then I'd be happy, or, it's, be happy now, If you keep waiting for something to happen or someone to come along and save you, you're never going to be saved. Save yourself. Be happy now. Number 5, make a list. First of all, making lists helps you feel organized or get organized. It allows you to see what you've accomplished. But beyond all that, I find that a list can be helpful as a self-psychological tool. A few years ago, like I said, when I was going through that divorce, I realized I was going to have to move back in with my parents. And, I was dreading it, because they lived out in the middle of the woods, and it was, this middle of nowhere. What am I doing? And so I made a list of all the good things that could come of it. And then every time, leading up to the move and then subsequent to the move, I would look at that list. When I started getting down about it, I'd look at the list, and it would remind me of all the good things about it, So, beyond just getting organized, it's a good thing to help keep you on the positive, Number 6, you're not the Lone Ranger. Now, what this means is that get over yourself. You're not the only one with problems. I guarantee you that no matter what your problems are, no matter what, you can find somebody who's got worse problems. Now, if you're looking for a reason to justify feeling bad, I get it. Fine, go feel bad. If you want to continue to feel bad, anybody can find good reasons to be miserable. After my divorce, I would constantly, I'd want to tell everybody that I'd just gone through this divorce, because I wanted some sort of justification for the misery that I felt. Well, I give you that. You have all the justification you need. But when you decide that you don't want to feel that way anymore, you got to let that go. So, you're not the Lone Ranger. You should live your life with empathy. Look at others, and not derive thanks that you're not suffering like they are, but realize that you got it pretty good. And number 7, probably it's more of like a credo than it is a rule, and that is everything is gravy. You know, a few years back I had a heart attack. Wasn't a serious heart attack. It was kind of mild. But I could have died. And thinking back throughout my life, you know, I rode motorcycles for a long time, and you know, I've done really stupid things as a teenager, and you know, there's many times when I could have died. Maybe I made a left turn when if I'd have made a right, I would have slammed into somebody. You never know. So the bottom line is, all of life is gravy. Every moment that we have is extra. So if you kind of look at life that way, it makes life a whole lot better. Oh, and I'll add another thing, and that is expect nothing. Because the easiest way to be disappointed is to not have life live up to your expectations. You know what? Life happens. Just enjoy it as it comes along. So anyway, that's the Zen of Ben. Those are the rules I like to follow. I'm glad I reread them to myself, because you know what? I need it. So that's it. Thanks for listening to my blabbity blabby. See you next time. Bye.